Hey everybody, this is Ramonel. I hope you're having a blessed day today. And today I want to look at some scriptures in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 2 through 8. James chapter 1, verse 2 through 8. So let me read these scriptures. James 1, 2, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith with no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is double-minded and unstable in all his ways. So we're going to look at these scriptures this morning, and I want to you to keep in mind that everybody got to go through trials, but learn from your trials. Or either don't waste your trials, or either learn from your mistakes. Sometimes we be going through some stuff, and sometimes we can let it make us bitter, or we can let it make us better. So sometimes we just got to realize that everybody gonna go through sometimes, but we cannot let our trials define who we are. Like it take a lot of pressure to make a diamond, and and gold has to be purified to be pure. So sometimes instead of giving up, acting out, losing our faith, we should let it make us better. So James 1:2 say, my brother, count it our joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. So that's James 1, 2, and 3. So we're supposed to count it our joy when we fall into various trials, when we going through, and knowing that and the reason we count it our joy is because of verse 3. We can count it our joy because we know that the testing of our faith produces patience. So life is full of trials, and being a Christian don't mean that you will be exempt from trials. It don't say if you fall into trials, it say when you fall into trials. So we all gonna go through some things sometimes. My brother, count it our joy when you fall into various trials. It don't say if. So it's better to go through with God than go through without him. But we gonna go through anyway. It's better to go through with our faith planted on God, knowing that God got a reason behind this trial. God got a reason behind this test. Now, sometimes um, we we can't blame God for everything we go through, because sometimes we get ourselves in trials. Sometimes we are disobedient. Sometimes we go down the wrong path. Sometimes we make the wrong decision. And I don't blame them on God, but I know that even when I mess up and when I make a mistake, when I get in the flesh, that sometimes, that God can use it to make me better. So I don't blame God for everything I go through, because sometimes I realize it's me. I made the wrong decision. I didn't pray about it. I didn't listen to God. I just did it. And now I'm going through. But even in them times when I know I'm wrong and when I know I messed up, God has always been faithful to help me through whatever I've been through. So we got to count it our joy, you know, knowing that God will help us through, and also knowing that it will make us a better person, because the mistakes I made and the repercussions I had, I don't want to make them same mistakes again. So I got to count it all joy. Some people say, if you don't learn from your trial, you're going to keep going through the same trial, same trial, same trial. I once heard someone that if you're in the Navy, you can't go forward unless you learn how to swim. So until you learn how to swim, you got to stay at the same rank. Then after you learn how to swim, then you could become better. So we got to learn how to handle our trials. I really I really can't swim. I never took swimming lessons. So guess what? I don't get in the deep end. But my wife, she can swim, and guess what? She could get in the deep end. She can handle all types of water. So, if you ain't never been through nothing, you don't you might not understand somebody who's going through something. It might be certain things that you can't handle. But see, I don't want to be the type of person that give up and quit at the first sign of a problem. The testing of our faith should produce patience or teach us how to handle things that every human being has to face. See, our trials may be different, but you got to depend on the same God that brings us through them. Like I said, gold must be melted and refined to become pure. So you have to go through the process to produce the product. But the thing about it, a lot of people going through the process, but they're not producing the product. They're just complaining, crying, looking for an easy way out. And, um, we all have to cry sometimes. And yes, we all feel like complaining sometimes, but through your tears and through your complaints, your venting, grab hold of God and let God bring you through this. And then let this trial make you a better person. So learn from your trials or either learn from your mistakes. James 1:4, but let patience have its perfect work that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Like I said, you have to put gold in the fire to become pure, to burn out all their infirmities. So I once heard that if you leave gold in a fire too long, it will be ruined. And if you take it out too soon, the infirmity still will be there. So the person who got the gold in the fire is watching the gold to make sure it don't, that is out on the gold to make sure it don't be ruined, to pull the gold out at the exact right time. So when you're going through, God is watching you. God got his eyes on you. He don't want this trial to destroy you. He want to pull you out at the exact right time so you'll be a better person, that you'll learn from your mistakes. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Now that's the New King James Version. So we got to be perfect. God wants to make us perfect and complete. That patience have its perfect work, that we may be perfect, which is mature, complete, lacking nothing. So God got his eye on us as we go through our trials and trying to pull us out at the right time so we could be complete, so we could be mature, so we could be fulfilled, so that we could be able to handle stuff that life throws every human being. So don't miss the lesson. Let each trial make you a better person. To be perfect, complete, and lacking nothing is to be a mature Christian. When they teach you to, I get the illustration about when they teach you to swim. Water is the perfect environment to learn how to swim. Like I said, I don't get in the deep end because I ain't too familiar with the water to handle it when it come over my head. But if I took time to learn how to swim, I would be able to handle the situation. So our trials teach us how to handle life. My wife is a lifeguard. I used to be a lifeguard, so she can handle all types of water. So these trials teach us how to handle life because stuff gonna come at us, and you can handle every situation with more confidence. Like I said, my wife is a lifeguard and she's confident in the water. Me, no, I'm not confident in the water that I can't stand up in. So we gotta let patience have its perfect work by teaching us how to handle the trial that we face in life. And like I said before, one person said, I read in a commentary, don't learn, you'll go through the same trial over and over again, like trying to repeat the same grade in school over and over again. Why? Because you didn't learn a lesson. You don't deserve to go forward. And sometimes they may push you forward in school anyway, but God wants you to learn a lesson. So while we going through and while we having this hard time and while we don't really understand, James 1:5 say, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to you. So if you don't understand, ask God for wisdom. Lord, how? Help me to handle this situation. Give me the wisdom to make the right decision. And God will give to all liberally. God don't hate you. God wants you to become pure, become mature. So, if you go into a trial, that don't mean God hates you. The New Living Translation says, if you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. So you're going through, and you're having a hard time, and you done went to everybody, done did everything but pray and seek God. So if you're going through, ask God. He will not rebuke you for asking. He will say, "Dog, you should have came to me first." Because, it's hard to explain, but sometimes you just have an inner peace. Sometimes you can be crying. You can still have peace. Sometimes you experience the death of a loved one and your heart is broken, but you just have an inner peace. And sometimes when you do go through, when stuff do happen, sometimes you just have an inner peace and you can just pray and take it to God and ask God for wisdom, and God will give it to you. God will teach you how to handle every situation. But when you ask, James 1:6, but let him ask in faith with no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea driven and tossed by the wind. So when you're going through and you ask God, ask in faith. Because, you can ask God for one thing and somebody can tell you this and you can go in that direction. Somebody else will tell you that, you go. I mean, you like a wave. You just go wherever the wind blow. But, you just listen to all kind of people advice because you doubt what God said in the first place. So don't let what you're going through cause you to doubt God. When you doubt God and start taking men advice, you are like a wave in a sea moving wherever the current takes it. You won't have any stability in your life. Now, people are good at telling you what you should do when they never experience what you're going through. If I was you, I would do this. Or if I was you, I would do that. How many people heard that? I know I have heard that in my life. But, have you ever been driving, follow your GPS system? Then somebody say, "I know a shortcut." Then you take the shortcut and you end up lost. Sometimes sometimes it's better just to follow a GPS system. It may take a little longer, but you will get there. It's better to follow God. It may take a little longer. The trial may last longer than you want it to, but guess what? If you hold on to God unchanging hand, you will get there. You will get to be that better person. You will get to be, that pure gold. And remember, God got his eye on you, and he don't want this trial to destroy you. Some people commit suicide. Some people just lose all their zest and zeal for life. All because of something they're going through, or all because of a person. Like a broken relationship and stuff, and they don't feel like they can live without this person. All this. I mean, this is real life. But grab hold of God and hold on to God unchanging hand, and don't doubt him. James 1:7 say, "For let not that man suppose that he will receive anything for God." So James 1:6, "But let him ask in faith with no doubt, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea driven and tossed by the wind. In James 1:7, for let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord." So when you doubt God and listen to other people, God can't really bless you. I mean, you doubting God and everybody else giving you advice and you praying, and then when you get up and pray, you just forget about everything you prayed about, and somebody tell you this and somebody tell you that. So for let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. You cannot be unstable in all your ways and expect to receive something from God. You got to put your faith, your trust, and your belief in God. I mean, you are praying but won't listen to God's advice. You're double-minded. It's like a man having a wife and a side chick. Just to be real, he may be committed to his wife, but he keep running to his side chick. I mean, he's unstable, and he's dishonoring his wife by having a side chick. And some people become so unstable that they don't know whether they want their wife or their side chick. They want them both. They want to have it both ways, so they go back and forth between the two. But God won't put up with that. Most men will have a fit if their wife had another man, but they feel like they can have another side chick. But God don't put up with that. God got to be first. Your allegiance have got to be God, and you got to cut out all this. You can't have no side chick. You can't You know what I'm trying to say. Your allegiance have got to be to God. You have got to be stable. You have got to be dependable. You have got to your allegiance have got to be to God. In other words, they have got to be God first. Like it's supposed to be your wife first. You marry her. You marry your wife and forsaking all others. You gonna cleave to your wife. Then you gotta forsake all everything and cleave to God. Sometimes you gotta give it all to God and watch what God do. You'll be surprised at the people you can live without. You may be surprised that the joy you could have after you get into the get into a personal relationship with God. So don't waste your trials. Learn from your mistakes. Just remember, God wants to bless you. God wants you to be stable. God wants you to be mature. God wants you to be perfect, which means mature, complete, lacking nothing. God wants you to be the type of person that is solid, that people can depend on, that people can like look to, and let your light shine before men so they may give God your glory. God wants you to be a lighthouse to men, but you're gonna have to go through and you're gonna have to learn how to handle your trials, because I once read this illustration about this man who had been in the war and lost one of his legs, and everybody came by and kept trying to encourage him, saying, "You're gonna be all right. You just lost a leg." And he would always say, "You don't understand what I've been through. You ain't lost a leg. You still got both of your legs. You don't understand." And couldn't nobody encourage him. And one of this man came, this old soldier came, and he said the same thing. And the man said, "Well, you don't understand what I've been through," and this and that. Then this man pulled up his pants and said, "Look, I lost both legs, and I'm still okay. I lost both of my legs, and I'm still walking." So what I'm trying to say is, um, you can have joy. You can have peace. Some people look to you because of what you've been through, and they get inspired to do better. And you look to other people because of what they've been through, and you may get inspired to do better. So be an inspiration to people. Be a light to people. Don't act like you ain't never been through nothing. Don't act like your life has been perfect. Give your testimony. Tell people how God brought you through. Don't waste that trial. You thought you went through that and you made it through. You came out good just so you could not help anybody with it. I mean, I don't talk about some of the stuff I've been through unless I see somebody going through the same stuff and it could help them. So don't waste your trial. Don't be unstable. Learn from your mistakes. And y'all have a blessed rest of the day.